Everyone thinks you are already perfect. But the truth is, someone else thinks you are even more perfect than you do. In the movie American Psycho, the main character Patrick Bateman is an extremely self-centered man. He believes he is the best person in the world. He can't stand anyone being better than him in any way, even if it's just a coworker's business card. A slightly better design is enough to make him angry, until he meets someone who stands out even more than him. It's hard to imagine a man this cold and violent could actually run away because of a simple encounter. Because for a long time, almost nothing could make Bateman feel anything except jealousy. The story takes place in the 1980s, a time when consumerism was everywhere. Like many Wall Street elites, Bateman lives in a world full of luxury and competition. He cares deeply about his appearance, to keep his body perfect. He spends hours every day working out and taking care of himself. His whole life is controlled by strict routines. His clothes must come from expensive brands. His meals must be at the hardest restaurants to book. Even his business card has to prove that he has the best taste. He believes this is the only way to show his status and success. But behind this perfect appearance is a completely empty life. On the surface, Bateman is a successful investment banker. But in reality, he just shows up at his father's company every day. Most of his work has no real meaning. His notebook isn't filled with business notes. It's filled with violent and disturbing drawings. Whenever someone makes him feel ignored, he responds by treating them the same way. Like when a client cancels a meeting, he immediately cancels another person's appointment. In his world, everyone is competing with everyone else. Everyone is trying to prove they matter more. His secretary secretly has feelings for him, and Bateman knows it. But to him, someone outside his social class is not worth his attention. In his mind, only someone like his fiancée can match his status, looks, body, family background. Everything has to be perfect. Even though they barely have anything meaningful to say to each other, they still keep their relationship going, and both of them have their own affairs. For people at the top of society, real connection doesn't matter much. What matters is who looks more successful at a party, who sounds more sophisticated, who appears to have the better life. Their conversations are often meaningless. But Bateman never sees anything wrong with this lifestyle. He believes this is how successful people should live. But after wearing the same perfect mask all day, at night, he needs extreme actions to release the emptiness inside him. The people he chooses are usually complete strangers, or people with no social power, because around them, he doesn't need to pretend anymore. He can finally show his real side. And at the same time, these people are much harder to connect back to him. So Bateman rarely chooses people from his own circle, unless they push him too far. Like his coworker Paul. Even though they have known each other for years, Paul still confuses Bateman with another coworker Marcus, because the two men look almost identical. Their hairstyles, their clothes, and even their positions at work are nearly the same. Bateman understands why it happens, but he still can't accept it, because in his mind, he should be the one everyone remembers. What makes things worse is that Paul easily gets a reservation at the restaurant Bateman could never book, and it is even on a Friday night, the busiest time of the week. To prove he is still better, Bateman shows Paul the thing he is most proud of, his business card. He thinks it will prove that nobody has better taste than him. But when he sees Paul's card, he realizes Paul's card is even more impressive. At that moment, Bateman's confidence starts falling apart. His jealousy keeps growing, and he begins thinking about how to get rid of this person. Bateman plans to deal with Paul slowly, but things change after another party. Paul mistakes him for Marcus again. That finally pushes Bateman over the edge. He realizes nobody actually sees him as someone special. When people talk about Bateman, he can clearly see the disrespect in their eyes. All the anger he has held back for days finally explodes. That night, Bateman brings Paul back to his apartment. Before doing anything, he carefully prepares everything the way he always does. After dealing with Paul, Bateman immediately starts cleaning up the evidence. He quickly goes to Paul's apartment, and creates the illusion that Paul simply left town. He tries to make everyone believe that nothing unusual happened. He thinks he has covered everything perfectly. But the next day, the police still come looking for answers. Bateman stays calm on the outside. During the investigation, the detective asks about his background, his school, his career, and his personal life. For once, someone is seriously paying attention to him. The things nobody usually cares about suddenly become important, and that strange feeling of being noticed makes Bateman feel satisfied. Before this, the only way he felt real was through his violent actions at night. But this time, just being seen by someone makes him stop himself. The next day, Bateman goes back to his normal routine. He talks with his friends about meaningless topics, but then his coworker Luis shows up and brings back his anger. Bateman can't believe it. The man he always looked down on also has a better business card than him. He always believed he was the most stylish person in the company. But now, even Luis seems to have beaten him. His jealousy takes over again. He follows Luis into the bathroom, ready to finally get rid of him. But suddenly, Luis shows something Bateman never expected. Real attention. Luis makes it clear that he has always noticed Bateman, and has wanted to get closer to him. Bateman freezes. because for the first time, someone is truly paying attention to him. When someone actually sees him, he doesn't know how to react. He is not used to losing control, and he is not used to anyone seeing who he really is. At that moment, Bateman starts to realize, maybe he has always wanted someone to see the real him, even if that real person is damaged and imperfect. Then his secretary suddenly appears. Bateman originally plans to use the opportunity to bring her home and continue what he started, but when she honestly reveals her feelings, something changes. She knows Bateman always keeps his distance, but she still wants a real connection with him. Facing her honesty, Bateman chooses to let her go. He even warns her to leave, because he knows something terrible could happen if she stays. For the first time, Bateman cannot deny it. He wants someone to see beyond his perfect image. He wants someone to notice the person behind the mask. But just when he seems close to changing, the investigation into Paul's disappearance gives him another shock. The police discover that Paul's records show he was seen with other people. Those people's statements prove that Bateman was not connected to the case. Even worse, because people constantly mistake Bateman for Marcus, and Marcus is mistaken for someone else. Bateman suddenly gets an unexpected alibi. The man who committed the crime is now considered innocent. Getting cleared should have been good news, but Bateman feels something completely different, because he realizes nobody cares about what really happened. Everything he did means nothing to the world around him. So he returns to his old habits. He looks for new targets. This time, he finds the two women he previously let go, and takes them to Paul's apartment. This time, he doesn't stop himself. He finally releases the side of himself. After that, Bateman no longer wants to hide who he is. He wants people to notice him. He stops trying to look perfect. He stops pretending his life is normal. He ends his relationship with his fiancée, and his behavior becomes completely out of control. He starts causing chaos on the streets, until the police finally identify him as the person behind everything. As if exposing himself wasn't enough, Bateman immediately calls his lawyer, and confesses everything. He tells him about all the things he has done. He even admits that he has hurt many people. After saying all of this, Bateman feels no fear. Instead, he feels like something has finally been completed. He thinks, this is finally over. He thinks he will finally be punished, and maybe his problem will finally be fixed. But the next day, when Bateman returns to Paul's apartment, he sees something impossible. Everything has changed. There is no body, no blood, no evidence left behind. The apartment looks completely normal. The landlord is inside, talking with people like nothing ever happened. Bateman cannot understand it. Everything he did, everything he left behind, has disappeared. Even stranger, the landlord seems to know something, but she chooses not to expose him. She acts like nothing happened. Bateman finally realizes someone has covered everything up, just to protect the value of the apartment. At that moment, he completely breaks down, because he realizes this society may be so numb that even something like murder cannot get anyone's attention. He refuses to believe it, so he goes back to his lawyer and confesses again. But the result shocks him even more. The lawyer doesn't believe him, because he also mistakes Bateman for someone else. To him, Bateman is just another rich businessman, nothing special, nothing memorable, and Paul Allen is not even considered missing. The lawyer says he recently had dinner with Paul in London. At that moment, Bateman finally understands the problem is not only him. The entire society has become sick. In a world controlled by money, status, and appearance, nobody cares about the truth. Nobody wants to look beneath the surface. People only care about expensive clothes, exclusive restaurants, perfect business cards, and a beautiful image. Bateman's madness, his crimes, and even his attempt to confess, are all meaningless in front of this empty society, because nobody truly sees him. They only see the image he created. The real horror of American Psycho is not just a dangerous person hiding in the dark. It is the world around him, a world full of people wearing expensive suits, eating at luxury restaurants, and fighting for status, while slowly losing their humanity. Bateman believes, if he becomes perfect enough, if he becomes special enough, people will finally remember him. But in the end, he discovers the truth. In a world obsessed with appearances, even his madness cannot make people notice him. His identity can be replaced, his name can be forgotten, and even his crimes can be ignored. The scariest thing is not a killer hiding in the shadows. It is the perfect-looking elite, who has everything on the outside, but has already lost everything human inside.